And my colleague Rasesh Mandani is joining us from Mumbai, right outside the venue of Sachin Tendulkar's book launch. Rasesh, guests must have started arriving. It's the who's who of Indian cricket who are going to be there for Sachin Tendulkar's book launch today.
Oh, absolutely, Shivani. Not just the who's who of Indian cricket, but also people who've helped Sachin become the Tendulkar he went on to be. We just saw his coach Ramakant Achrekar arrive. Sachin's wife Anjali has arrived as well, his family, his brother Ajit Tendulkar, and of course, like we already mentioned, that there's going to be a session with the legends of Indian cricket, the Big Four, which formed such a big part of the victorious reign that Indian cricket had in the 2000s. Rahul Dravid, Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar and VVS Lakshman sharing stage, discussing book, discussing Sachin Tendulkar. Before that, there's also going to be a session, I gather, between Dilip Vengsarkar, Sunil Gavaskar, Vasu Paranspe, Ravi Shastri. These were the people who were Indian cricket, who were Mumbai legends, who also played for India at the time Tendulkar was knocking on the doors. So perhaps that initial session, Shivani, would be about Tendulkar's growing years, and then the next one with the legends, with teammates with whom Sachin played, would be talking about the Indian cricket's victorious reign. It's a gala event, it's a celebration, and interestingly, it's not even a year now, less than a year's time from the time Sachin Tendulkar retired. Now Tendulkar is here giving his own story, bringing his life out in an autobiography, promising like never before.
Yes, so Rasesh, and you're in his hometown, Mumbai, where he's launching his book first before he travels to other cities. What's the reaction you're getting from fans, in Mumbai itself? What's the wait like been for fans, especially in his home city?
Great anticipation, Shivani. There are Sachin Tendulkar fans and there are Sachin Tendulkar fanatics. With the sort of the sense one gets with people, seeking to know Tendulkar better. It's interesting. We keep talking about the fact that what new can come out of Sachin Tendulkar, because his story, his life, his career has been dissected so minutely by the media and one and all. Yet, we are told that the co-author promises that there's a lot more that this book will reveal. And Tendulkar's been a quiet character. While he's played his cricket, he hasn't been one to air an opinion on every other issue. Now, Tendulkar promises to bring out a lot more stories. There could be a lot of stories that fans would want to know of. They would want to know of the Tendulkar that they don't know yet. And the people may seem he's an icon, he's an idol, and yet he's hero worship. And people would be seeking to know Tendulkar better through this book.
Oh, absolutely. And his book has already created a lot of controversy. We're running some excerpts on your screen. This particular one is where he mentions how Greg Chappell, then coach in 2007, just before the 2007 World Cup, offered the captaincy to Sachin Tendulkar. Of course, there's been a huge furore over this comment. Greg Chappell himself has come out and said that he never made such an offer, but his teammates, those who will be there at that launch today as well, have backed Sachin Tendulkar. Rasesh, stay with me. Just want to take a few more comments from you. But before that, let me update our viewers. Even as fans all across the country wait for Sachin's book, Playing It My Way, he's given the first copy of his autobiography to none else but his mother. And the Master Blaster even uploaded a picture of it on Twitter, saying, gave the first copy of my book to my mother. Look of pride on her face was a priceless moment. Sachin's book, of course, will hit stores tomorrow. The gala book launch is in a bit from now. Rasesh is at the venue. He'll keep getting us all the latest updates. Rasesh, how long can we expect this event to go on, and what more personalities, apart from cricket, from the cricketing world, are you expecting at this event?
Well, I think it's basically going to be a lot of cricketers, a lot of cricket legends, who Sachin has played with, whose guidance he sought over a period of time, and the Tendulkar family. The Tendulkar family posing with Sachin with the book would be quite a picture. I think it's something that people are looking forward to as well. The event's expected to last about an hour or so, or more, separated by two sessions that I said. Initial one set to discuss Tendulkar's early years, and the next one Tendulkar's successful career in general. But that moment when Sachin Tendulkar would launch the book is also something that is very keenly anticipated. We spoke about Tendulkar gifting the book to his mother. His coach Ramakant Achrekar is here as well, and those would be touching moments. Those would be touching pictures. when Sachin meets his coach Ramakant Achrekar. In many ways, Achrekar, had he had Ajit Tendulkar not taken Sachin to Ramakant Achrekar, who knows if he would have gone on to be the legend that he is today. And it's something that Tendulkar is particular about ensuring that people who help him grow through his initial years, he always remembers them. He also had a gala dinner yesterday, meeting with the media people who followed his career over a period of time, people who followed him through the last 25 years. So he's kept the protocol in place, and this event promises to be a very interesting one.
Oh, absolutely. And the anticipation for this book, Rasesh, has increased because of some of the excerpts that have come out and that have already created ripples, really. Indian coach Greg Chappell was like a ring master. The Master Blaster, in fact, reportedly spent quite a few pages in his autobiography sharing details of some of the experiences with Greg Chappell. And Harbhajan Singh and VVS Lakshman came out blasting Chappell as well, backing Sachin Tendulkar. Dravid, though, who was the captain under Chappell, chose to duck the issue. Take a look at some of the reactions that have come out since those excerpts came out.
There is now an all-out riot of reactions on Sachin Tendulkar's revelations on the way Greg Chappell ran Team India as its coach from 2005 to 2007. Players who were then in the team, former players who observed from the galleries, and the administrators who ran cricket when Chappell was at the helm of affairs. They're all venting their frustration on a man who stands much maligned following what Sachin Tendulkar had to say. The verbal attack on Chappell is scathing and disturbing, especially by those who were a part of the team.
He is a liar. He's a big liar. He's been lying to all of us, and he cheated not just us but the whole India.
I remember when I went to South Africa, probably the most negative dressing room I ever have come across. There was a lot of tension within the dressing room, and it was unnecessary. There was a divide created between the seniors and juniors. And
while some are more guarded in what they say about Chappell,
one got to look into the other side as well, that he may have the good intention to, he expected Tendulkar with so much of experience and image and cricketing, he is a legend by himself, an icon.
ग्रेग चैपल से इन लोगों की बहुत कुछ जो सीनियर प्लेयर से नहीं बन रही थी, और इस तरह की बात उन दोनों मुझे याद है कि सचिन ने मुझसे भी शेयर की थी। और उसके बाद फिर जब वर्ल्ड कप में हमारी वेस्ट इंडीज में शुरुआत में
Headlines today, right after his book launch, he will talk for the first time on his upcoming tell-all memoir. You can catch that exclusive interview only on Headlines today at 8 p.m. Really, this is not one that you want to miss. Salam Sachin special on Headlines today. Rasesh Mandani is still with us from Mumbai, gearing up for that big book launch. Rasesh, if you can give us an update on, what's the scene like outside the venue right now, and how long before we expect the event to start?
Not too long, Shivani. About 10 minutes time, we are told the event should get away. It would start with some introductory comments by the co-author, followed by a couple of debates that we discussed. You spoke about the excerpts having created the buzz, and they surely have, haven't they? It's not just about the Greg Chappell saga. In many ways, Greg Chappell's got the entire 2007 World Cup squad, which didn't do that well, thinking and speaking. But it's not just that. Will this book have more about the Multan declaration? At the time, Rahul Dravid, the captain, declared, and Sachin Tendulkar was not out on 194. We'll find out. Will this book also talk about the Monkey Gate saga, where Sachin Tendulkar was accused of siding with Harbhajan Singh? Will Sachin Tendulkar bring out his side of the story? That is something. There's so many stories, that Sachin hasn't spoken about yet, which people would be keen to know if Sachin will reveal, and in what detail he will come up with. I gather from my sources that even at the event there could be more about the Multan declaration as well. So there's so much to look forward to as far as the event is concerned, and more specifically as far as the finer details of the book are concerned, because there have been so many books that have chronicled Sachin Tendulkar. There have been books that have spoken about Sachin Tendulkar's early years. There have been one that has been written by his brother Ajit Tendulkar as well in far more detail. But this is Sachin bringing out his own story, and it's something that his fans and people at large would certainly be very interested in knowing about.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so nice to see him giving that first copy to his mother. Rasesh, thanks a lot for joining us. Of course, we can expect a lot more explosive comments from this event as well. It's a huge opportunity, one of a kind, to have, you know, four of India's batting pillars, Saurav, Sachin, Dravid and Lakshman all together on the same stage, together with many other Indian cricket greats. We'll look forward and keep building up to that countdown to Sachin's book launch. For the meantime, a very short break. On the other side, we'll get you what Saurav Ganguly had to say about Sachin's upcoming memoir. Sachin Tendulkar's awaited autobiography have created a lot of ripple. He has hit out at Greg Chappell, the former Indian coach, calling him a ring master. And here's what former Indian captain Saurav Ganguly had to say in reaction to that. Listen in.
I'm happy that Sachin has written the true facts of that period. A lot of things were written. I lost my captaincy, and obviously then I came back and played again for India. But the circumstances in which those situation happened was not very good. But that's past. That's a long way behind, and I'm very happy that somebody as big as Sachin, somebody with Sachin's credibility, has spoken about it and addressed the issue. I wish someday I could tell my side of the story, right from the tour of Zimbabwe and for the next 1.5 years. But that could keep the news going on for the next 2 years. So I've restrained myself from doing that. But it's great to see that Sachin has spoken the truth in the book. This is the first time I'm hearing. Obviously, this is a closed-door discussion between Greg and Sachin. But I presume it's true, and I find it absolutely ridiculous. And I lost my captaincy in 2006, in 2005, and the World Cup was early 2007. So Rahul became captain in end 2005, December, January, and in another 8 months he needed another captain. It just goes to show the way he thought. It just goes to show what damage he's done to Indian cricket, and it just goes to show the character of the man, that he's someone who you cannot trust, whether it's Ganguly, Dravid or Tendulkar. It was one of the worst phases of Indian cricket, and one of the worst phases cricketers can go through, especially someone like me. What I've gone through during the period was beyond imagination, because there were lies after lies, and I had to live with it. I was left out of the team because obviously he had the power. Rahul came as captain, and then 6 months later he wanted Rahul removed and Sachin as captain. So it just goes to show the way the man went about his job. You saw it in our results. You saw the way we played in the World Cup. We didn't even qualify, and I was not surprised to see that. And I had spoken to Dravid about that much later. We were playing a test match in Bangalore, and I told him that these were the things going on. What surprised me was that he knew it, and he couldn't control Greg. So it was a similar. I really don't have much time for Greg Chappell. I really don't have much time to discuss about him, because I've got no respect for him in my heart. For me, it was been the lowest point of my career. I played 13 years for India, and I enjoyed it, except that period of 1 year where everything was related to reasons other than cricket, and where else our job was just to play the sport.